Hi guys, welcome to PJ's Coin Capers. So the coins that I've got in front of us today are coins that I have found noodling over the past few months. Now, I wouldn't call myself a huge noodler. I just haven't had time to get lots of coins and go through them. But these are the coins that I've kept over the past few months. Some of them I may have had on video, and some of them I've just done privately for myself, for my own enjoyment. And so these are the coins that I have put aside. So this is fairly typical of what I have been finding. And, as in terms of the newer coins and bits and pieces. And there's obviously coins that people will be finding across the country that I am not finding because they just haven't found their way into the banks around Melbourne or Victoria. So there'll be some differences between each of the states, but this is what I found. So what I wanted to do was basically put together a video that shows you guys, is it really worth keeping absolutely everything? And there's many reasons to keep things and many reasons to just send them back to the bank. So in some ways, if you have an understanding of panning for gold, these are my concentrates. Okay, so sorting through these coins is like removing the black sand, okay, from the gold to find the real value. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing here. So not all of these coins will be keepers long term. They might be only short term keepers, just to sort of see what either what the market's doing or check what the mintage is. So when I say short term, it might be 1 to 2 years. And you'll get a feel for what's going on. So what I'm going to do is actually go and I'm going to sort these coins out into each of their denominations, and I'll talk about the coins that I found. There'll be a lot of double up coins in here, but I do want to work through them, and obviously we won't go through absolutely every single coin, but there'll be clusters or groups of coins that we'll go through. And I'll just share a little bit of information about what I'm thinking, the reason why I may keep or may return to the bank, or whether it's just too early to do that. So I'll see you back here in one moment. Now I tend to not go through too many 5-cent rolls and 10-cent rolls. 10-cent rolls, really, there's only a couple of coins worth finding, and so therefore I don't go through many, so we don't have many results from either the 5 or 10-cent coins. As I was sorting through, it was interesting just to see how many US coins I had kept throughout the hunts. A lot of these a lot of these dimes and 5-cent coins, 10-cent coins have and quarters have come out of rolls. So yeah, it's just interesting to see that a few of those were in there. Now let's go in a little bit closer. So these are the ones that I found by sorting through these coins, and there are various reasons why I've kept each of these. Now up the top here we have two 2021 coins, which is the 10-cent coin and the 5-cent coin. Now at the moment it's probably just a little bit too early to know whether or not these are going to be keepers or not. And the 2021 mintage on the 5-cent coin that has been reported so far is 4.5 million. So whether that changes or not, but I'm just going to check what so on the 10-cent coin is at 1.25 million. So that's another potentially low mintage coin. So at the moment it's too early to know. So, and I'm not finding too many, so that potentially means that they're going to remain as a keeper, but we won't know. So at the moment I try to keep as many as I can. The next one we've got here is a 1972 5-cent coin. Now the 1972 has been a keeper, well, forever, since 1972 really. And the mintage on that coin was 8.3 million, which is so much lower than any other coin around it for its time, all the way through to 2016, where things changed and that became the changeover coin. So that there is the 2016 changeover coin. That has a low mintage as well, which may seem high compared to other coins, but this is at 4.8 million, and they're certainly getting harder and harder to find. So I do keep each and every one of those, and if every one I do find, I do look for the alien error, which I haven't found. I would absolutely love to find, and I have thousands of these coins, and I've kept every single one of them. So, but no alien error coin. The other 5 cent coin is the 2019, which is the newer effigy, the JC effigy. So the Jody Clark effigy of the 5 cent coin. There was the IRB effigy, which has a much higher mintage, and this one here, the 2019, has been reported at 4.1 million. So currently that's our lowest minted 5 cent coin. So I keep those guys when I do find them as well, and they are tough to find as well. And the other 10 cent coin that I always keep, and I've got plenty of them, and others struggle to find them, but I've been able to find them, and maybe they were put into Victoria more so than other states, but the 2011 10 cent coin has a mintage of 1.7 million. Now, I don't really want to talk about values because values do change, but they've always been around that $5 to $7 range depending on condition. So it's a good one to keep. Alright guys, so we've got the 20 cent coins out now. So there are many reasons to keep coins, and it's based on being low mintage or which coins are more rare or scarce, and that way they hold more value. There's error coins. You may like to hold on to certain coins and potentially sell them in the future if they go up in value. You may be building a collection and want to try and hold on to each one of the 20 cent coins to pass on to a future generation, or another family member or friend. And one of the other big reasons to hold on to a coin is because you like the design. Possibly may even have a historic relevance to you or your family based on what's depicted on each of the coins. But these are the 20 cent coins that I've come across that I've decided to keep, that may hold some future value, and ones that I may look at in the future and decide no, they're not worth keeping. So we'll start up here. Now I'm finding a number of 2022 20 cent coins. Now obviously we know nothing about the mintages yet, and probably the best way to judge whether or not you feel it's going to be a low mintage is based on how many you're finding and how many others are finding. So if you're, say, on the PJ's Coin Capers group, there's lots of people sharing what they're finding. Have a look, see what they're finding, and if they're showing you lots of 2022 20 cent coins, potentially they're going to be a higher mintage. Have a look on eBay and see if people are selling rolls or bags of them. Depending on the value that they're selling them for could determine how many bags they've got, or how many people are selling them will determine whether there's many out there as well. So keep an eye on those kind of things, and you'll be able to make an assessment during the year, so during the calendar year. So, and then you'll know whether or not it's worthwhile hanging on to. So I'm not finding too many, but they are starting to come through. So it's still, we're only halfway through the year, so still early days in respect to coin mintages. All right, so this is another reason to keep a coin. So there's nothing special about this coin. It's a 1966. Yes, it is the first 20 cent coin. And the only reason I've kept this one is because of its condition. Okay, it's not a wavy. I would have loved this one to be a wavy, and that would have added a lot more value, and potentially up into the $1,000 mark for this one if it was in this condition. But this is still only worth 20 cents. But you may like to swap it out or put it into your collection. You may have a one that's not looking so good, and you want to put that in. So that's a reason to keep, because you like the design. Now this hasn't got a particularly low mintage. It's sort of in the 7 million range, but I like the design, so I tend to keep them when I find them in decent condition. So that's another reason to keep them. Now we've got all of these 20 cent coins from 2001 for the Federation coins. So each of the states and territories have a coin with something that represents that state or territory. They are all lower mintage 20 cent coins. So potentially between, say, the low twos to the high twos, depending on the coin. Okay, now they are always going to be worth more than face value, potentially around the $3 mark, but you can create sets, and they're certainly great to find each one in the set, and we'll certainly be looking at the 50-cent coins further into the video. Now, I like the Bradman coin. If I find them in nice condition, I keep a few of those as well. I haven't tried to sell any of those, but this one here is the 2004, which is known as the big head, which is certainly more scarce than the small head. And you'll notice a distinct difference between the coins with the pointy A rather than the flat top on the A on the one that's found more prevalently in circulation, as well as the writing is actually closer to the edge, so that's a big giveaway as well. So 2004 20-cent coin, unknown mintage, but potentially around 400,000. So certainly a more scarce coin to try and find. Alright guys, so I've gone through all of the 50-cent coins that I found, and I found a lot because I tend to focus on 50-cent coins, so we've actually got a lot to get through. They're not all on the screen, but we will get through each of them. So the 1973, they all look fairly poor condition, to be honest, and I don't think it's one that I'm going to, like, I've got 3 of them that I've found during these lots of hunts that I've done. So they're not really worth anything much, and really they could probably go back into circulation, and it's probably one that you just want to try and hunt and find a better one for your collection. Mintage wise, 4 million on those ones, so classed as a relatively low mintage coin. The 72 is at 5.6 million and the 74 is at 9 million, so at 4 million it was classed as a fairly low mintage coin, but nothing super special. The next coin, well, a bit of an interesting one really, which is the 1987. Now, I came across this one during a hunt. Actually, I didn't come across it. Somebody else came across it, or you all came across it. You actually pointed it out to me in one of my videos. A number of you did, and I skipped it by, and I did sort of hesitate when I went through it, and I do make mistakes, and I don't keep them all in my head at that time, but this was one that did jump out to me slightly, but I let it go through, and I think I was probably just a little bit confused with the 1997 or even the 2007, but the 1987 wasn't produced for circulation. It was only put into mint sets, so that's why this coin became a keeper. So you need to watch out and know your dates and keep an eye out for these special rarities that shouldn't be in circulation, that just pop out to you when you see it. So I don't know what it's worth, but it was certainly one that's well worth keeping. And the second one, well, the third one here, is the Ram's Head. I do love coming across these. These are from 1991 with a mintage of 4.7 million. It's one that I like. You can find them in fairly good condition. These ones fairly typical. Oh, this one's a bit better. So that one will be a keeper, but I do tend to keep a fair few of those as well, and they're certainly a favourite amongst collectors. The next one is the 1993 C of A. So there it is there, and these have a low mintage. Now the mintage on the 1993 is just 1 million. Now I've had some good success, 4 of them over the past few hunts, so very happy to find those. I didn't find any of the 1985, which also has 1 million, but plenty of the 93s, and they are going up in value because they're not making any more of them. The next 2 piles of coins, and we'll include that one in there for now, all coins from 2001, various state 50-cent coins, as explained previously with the 20-cent coins. And I find a lot more of these than I do of the 20-cent coins. The 20-cent coins are tough to find. There's a lot more 20-cent coins out there as far as the volume of 20-cent coins. So even though the mintages are similar to that of the 50s, they are so much harder to find because you have to go through a lot more coins in order to find them. I hope that makes sense. So the reason why I've kept this one, which is also a 2001 coin, and technically it could be included in the state 50-cent coins. It is a centenary of Federation coin, but it is a high mintage coin, okay? Now, this one probably isn't the best of examples, but it is a nice conditioned one, but there is some damage from the coin rolling machine. You can see those slight little circular marks on the coin, which I actually hadn't seen until I've looked at it a little bit closer now. But condition-wise, it's a beautiful coin. So if you're likely to make sets and you can offer a nice one of these in your sale, do so. So that's why I like to keep those coins as well. The next one is the Iatis Coin, the 2014. Now, I must admit, I have previously found plenty of these, and I actually put many of them back into circulation. And since I did that, I can barely find any of them. So these have a mintage of 3 million from memory. I'm just going to quickly look that up. Yep, 3 million. So it is a low mintage coin, and many people love the design on this coin, and therefore it does become a keeper, but realistically, don't keep too many of them. Certainly one I was finding plenty of, and I absolutely love finding them because I do love the design of this coin, is the Marbo 20-cent coin from 2017. So this has a mintage of 1.4 million. So over this hunt, I found two, which is good for these days. And certainly if they're in that kind of condition, I do keep them. Another coin that popped up was a coin that is not intended for circulation, or not meant for circulation. It was a coin that was handed out through newspapers. I think you could buy them through some sort of subscription type thing, or go into the news agency and pick them up. This one was from 2018. I think the mintage on these type of coins is around 150,000, but could be more. So, but look, it's a bit of an oddity to find it in circulation. There's not too many in circulation. People would have either kept them, not necessarily something that's going up in value, but well worth finding. The next two, now a little bit interesting, is that we have here, I'll slide it up a little bit. So this is a 2019 IRB, so the Ian Rank Broadly effigy. Now we all know that 2019 was a very interesting year as far as coin production goes, because we ended up with two different effigies, and therefore we've got two different 50-cent coins with various mintages. Now there's been a lot of interesting information regarding the 2019 coins and production of using this particular die in 2020, and therefore coins were continued to be made until the die the dies had worn out. Okay, so the current mintage on this one is 870,000. More than likely will go up. Okay, we won't know that until the next annual report comes out. But I only found one. Okay, so that I thought that was interesting, that I only found one, versus this is the JC effigy. So technically the one that's taken over from the IRB effigy, which currently has a mintage. Now I've said that wrong before. The IRB is just over 1 million. Okay, 1,005,000. That's what's been reported. The current mintage on this one is 870,000. Okay, but look how many more I found in the same time. Okay, plenty of them, at least 10 there. So it'll be interesting to see where mintage goes. Maybe this one ends up blowing out way more than 1 million, and this stays relatively low at just over 1 million. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. The 2020 JC. So the following year, now I've managed to find 3 of them. These have a mintage of 720,000 currently. I kind of hope it doesn't change. It's nice to have a low mintage coin. So keep each and every one of those you find. The 2021 has a current reported mintage of 1.44 million, which is still a low mintage coin. But I'm finding plenty, and this is, I haven't kept them all. I'll tell you what, I have skipped through many of them. So I'm finding plenty. So I feel that these are going to be returned to circulation. I don't feel like the mintage is going to stay low. But that's based on what I'm finding. That you might be in Queensland or WA or somewhere else around the country, you're not finding any of these, and you're going, Pete, what, PJ, why are you putting these back into circulation? I'd love one. But you've sort of got to make a decision based on what you're finding and how many you can afford to keep. Now, I found my first 2022 50-cent coin. So at the moment, that's a keeper. We know nothing more than that's what it is. It's a 50-cent coin. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress over the next year, and we can make a decision on whether or not we keep those coins long term or whether they get returned to the bank. Alright guys, so now we've still got the $1 and $2 coins to go through, but I'm aware that this video has been fairly long already, so I'm actually going to push it into a second video. So this will be part 1, we'll have a part 2 video where we'll go through the $1 and $2 coins, which there are plenty here, which I do want to get through, and I don't want to rush it. So I'm going to leave it here. Tomorrow, this video, well, part 2 will be available, so go and watch this one, and make sure you watch tomorrow's video as well, and let me know your thoughts, what we've gone through. Let me know what you're finding. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Alright guys, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching.